As I said, with tax, probably $21 max.
Yeah. Alright, anyway. Let's finish up this review for that debacle. Let me just, like, next time I die, I'm sure I will. I like, in this game, you're a bullet sponge.
Bullet sponge.
You have so much health.
Oh, yeah, well,
yeah, like, the only thing,
barrier.
yeah, the only thing that's gonna kill you is falling. So they may as well just not even put these enemies in here, because they just waste time.
Honestly, here's how they could have fixed this entire game. Like, I know that NES didn't have a lot of...
What do we do now?
Jump as far as you can.
Screwed.
As far as you can. You can't go back a screen.
No, you're just... So if you miss,
you have unlimited continue, so they absolved that problem. And, like, you always get a password at the end of it, so in case...
Let's see if I can find passwords to the last level.
Don't do that.
Why?
This music's awesome.
It is. Dynowarz. This game just doesn't exist on GameFAQs.
Wars.
Yeah, I know. Oh, is it 2 words?
It's 1 word.
Yeah, I know. It's just...
Dynowarz. Just click NES and then go to D's. That's how I do it. IGN.
Oh, it's DY.
It's 6425.
This is the last level. 6425. Sometimes when you switch sources, you have to cycle through all the things again. 6425. Let's see what the end of the game looks like. Ooh, you're like moon base. There's always that thing above you.
If you hit select, I think it clears all the enemies on the screen.
Yeah.
Try it.
Oh, there's nothing on the screen now. Killed it all.
Try it. There you go. So you have 1 in reserve. This game isn't really hard. It's essentially the same thing over and over again, but you know what? It's a peaceful. Like, it's very... You don't play for score. There's no score counter. They're not pressuring you. You play Dynowarz whenever you want to play Dynowarz. That's what they're saying.
No, it's definitely not a bad game.
No, it's very basic. It's like, you know, it would be something you could easily introduce somebody to.
Could you? You're like, hey, this is the NES, play this game.
Yeah. As I said, it's one of those games that can only exist on the...
You can't rush that. They're stingy.
Tetris 2 kind of had a soundtrack like this. They had some very ambient, like, music tracks with an arpeggio in the background.
Oh my god.
Like, burr, 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 burr. But even, like, there's a lot of NES games that, like, when you die, it makes an annoying sound. It takes you to a game over screen. You don't get any continues. Dynowarz is very slow-paced, and, as I said, like, at your own leisure. .1,000 punches. And, like, this reminds me of, like, the Atlas games for the NES. Like, nothing has more than 2 frames of animation max. Like, the pixel artists didn't, like, spend waking hours trying to make stuff.
No, they definitely don't.
I like this palette, too. Like, I don't really see a lot of green and oranges in NES games. Unless you're playing, like, Adventure Island or something. This looks like the Emerald City for Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
I don't want that.
So, it's a pretty good one. It goes through enemies, multiple. Well, I guess it doesn't matter for bosses.
The last... Oh, what's that?
Oh,
ooh,
sweet.
like a Brachiosaurus or something.
Yeah. They're supposed to be peaceful. Why couldn't it be a giant T-Rex? Is that because you're one? What would you be like? Compared to, like, everything else you're fighting, you're like a compy. Almost. It does a lot of damage.
It jumps over you, though.
Bump, bump, hop, aw.
Tricked you.
You'll be able to get it.
I don't know, I'm gonna die very soon.
You take a lot of...
Oh.
There you go, you got it. And then you go in there.
Now I have to kill the mother brain again.
Yeah.
It's the same room.
Basically.
Just with more enemies. What are those things? What are those? Like, seriously, what is that?
It looks kind of like a dinosaur.
Looks like a turd face. Riding a rocket.
I don't know.
Like, I don't... That's the one thing I cannot identify.
This is what I call probably a leftovers game. It's like, basically, some pitchmen for, like, whatever company developed this were like, hey, you know, we got this great idea, and they're like, we don't really like it, we don't really like it, and stuff. It's like, okay, so they finally come up with a great game and stuff, and then they're left with all their pitch material, so they kind of blend it all together, and then, like, use the same sprites, or, you know, use some tracks or whatever. I mean, this is a very low-maintenance game, like... As I said, no one lost any sleep over Dynowarz.
No, I was trying to be tricky. They used to use that same... It's these same, like, several rooms.
Same room, same tracks.
Same enemies.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm okay with that. It's a fully functional game.
Yeah, it's definitely not that bad. There are way worse.
I know. But the thing is, like, I like some really bad NES games. I think it's because, like, a lot of those terrible NES games went too far out on a limb, for some. They didn't keep it simple, they made things overly complex or too difficult and didn't realize it. I think it's one of those things because the NES was one of the first of its kind. It's like whenever games started to blossom, you know? Like, the arcade standard were pretty high and stuff, but, like, the home console, the Atari was good, but...
Well, they're mostly just ports of arcade games, though.
Well, not all of NES games are.
No, I mean, like, back before the NES.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Atari, a lot of those games were... Like, you've got to make things one button, very, very simple, and, like, you start out the game, there's no title screen, you're just in go. Like,
yeah.
The NES, you had time to develop a story, you had time to, like... find out new mechanics and functions. Like, you could really, I mean, with the addition of 3 more buttons and, you know, like, everything in one hand almost. They had a more broad color palette.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a better sound chip in it. It's really, like, the standard. It's, like, for what games are today. I love the NES. It's my favorite system out of everything.
Really?
I know the Genesis is yours, but I think, like, it's because I did have the Atari, and I knew the 2600, and it was a giant leap for me.
Yeah, my first thing was the NES. I had it, like, I played when I was, like, 2 or 3 or something.
So, basically, the NES would be your equivalent of my Atari 2600.
Yeah, and then my Genesis is your NES. I'm like, oh my god, this is so much better.
I like the Genesis, but I played the Super Nintendo first.
I didn't have a Super Nintendo, and I played it second. And I liked the Super Nintendo. I wanted one when I was a kid, but you know, I never got it.
I played a ton of crappy American-made Genesis games. That was my problem. Like, you know, I like Sonic just as much, I guess, as the next guy, but, like, I've never been in love with him to the point, like, wherever, you know, his next game is really gonna get me to buy it or something. I do kind of think Sonic Generations looks alright, but it doesn't play, you know...
The controls are different.
Yeah, they are. If you played it finally?
Yeah, I finally played it.
Yeah, I mean, the controls are blatantly different.
Yes. Like, you feel different. Like, I mean, the controls are, I guess, the same, but you have a different weight.
Yeah.
This is the worst part, having to jump back to your thing.
You got it. All you do is, like, slide along the top.
Yeah.
Your helmet just grinds along the top, and you got it.
No!
You're fine. See those spikes? You don't die. It's not... It's like, oh, well, you fell on the spikes.
But I'm almost dead.
Walk on. You're gonna hop back in that mech.
Yeah, but
and everything's
I can't make these jumps.
This is the last level. It's probably all they ask of you. This is the motors. Do you have motor skills?
No.
And this is the game for you.
Oh my god. I'm gonna choke. I always do.
Yeah.
And the stress is feeling like I can feel the stress coming.
I don't know. At least it's not like Mega Man 2, like where there's
Oh my god, another one of these?
bars flying across the screen as you're like descending, and you've got to make the right slide or you got to make the right
Oh, I know.
fall. Like I've beaten all the NES Mega Man.
Really?
games
I've never
yet.
beaten any of them. Well, I played one when I was a kid. I played the first one.
The first
And
one's
I was
easy if you
so
do
hard.
go in sequence.
I just couldn't beat the levels.
Oh. Like, 2 is my favorite. I guess it's everyone's favorite. I just think it was
I like 7.
It was during the time, like, wherever they weren't cranking them out, like, once a year, one or two.
Oh, that's just it.
you
Just
go.
no boss battle, no...
Yeah, you did fight a boss battle, but it was super easy.
That was it. That was... You get back on
Bert
your little...
Schroeder
hoverboard.
made this.
Programmer Bamboo. He did it. Mr. Bamboo. Well, I beat Dynowarz. We beat Dynowarz. Whoa!
The end.
Well, congratulations.
You finished another great game. Yeah. Why is that self-serving praise in all these games? It's a great game. I agree. It's pretty great. I like it. I like that ending screen. It's purple and green. It looks almost Commodore 64.
Yeah. Big fat pixels.
It's nice. Like he's like, all right, well now I'm gonna go finish my laundry. It was a very easy affair. Didn't take up the rest of your life. You don't have to be a master to master this game.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was Dynowarz.
Bandai.
Yeah.